There are moments in life when the pillars of reason we rely on begin to shake one by one. The external world loses its meaning. Everything pales. All that remains is a light within, but this is not a soothing light. It burns like a primal crimson fire inherited from our ancestors. This fire became the turning point in the life of Carl Gustav Jung. The year was 1913. Jung was a renowned Swiss psychiatrist, the protégé of Sigmund Freud, and one of the most respected names in modern psychology. The scientific world applauded him. Society looked at him with awe. He was successful, wise, and respected. At least that's how it seemed from the outside. But internally, things were fracturing. Strange images began to haunt his dreams. A crimson sea was swallowing cities, blood flowed through silent streets, towers crumbled, and nameless deaths occurred. Jung took these dreams seriously. He waited, hoping they would pass, but they didn't. No one knew it yet, but Europe was on the brink of the Great War. Jung felt the approaching World War, not with his mind, but with his soul. What he saw was more than a prophecy. It was a call to the deepest core of his being. His ties to society, to logic, and even to Freud began to dissolve. This wasn't just an academic separation. Jung was tearing down the old systems of thought. He wanted to see the soul not as a disease, but as an entity. He wanted to listen to it, follow it. And then the darkness came. This was not a simple sadness or depression, it was the dark night of the soul. It was that mysterious process where the ego is shattered, and a profound transformation begins from within. During this time, Jung discovered a method that would change his life: active imagination. It was neither a dream nor meditation, but something in between. He would consciously close his eyes and speak with the images that appeared in his mind. He debated them, fought them, and recorded everything. He wasn't making it up. He was scribing like a mystic, receiving messages from another world. Strange characters emerged from the depths of his psyche. The prophet Elijah, the dancing Salome, serpent gods, demonic entities, a golden-haired child, and a nameless voice. He met them all and recorded every encounter in a large red leather-bound book. The Red Book, Liber Novus. The process shook him to his core. He feared he was losing his mind, but an inner voice told him the path was right. It wasn't a sickness, it was an initiation. In that moment, Carl Jung became the alchemist of the soul. He left behind the academy and his reputation. His only compass was the unconscious. He stepped into the unknown with nothing but a blank notebook and the courage to be lost. He sat for hours, transcribing images that felt as though they came from somewhere else. He was a vessel, much like the prophets or mystics of old. The Red Book contained no psychological theories or clinical explanations. It contained only the whispers, cries, falls, and rebirths of a soul. During those years, Jung was no longer the society favorite doctor. He was a traveler wandering through a dissolving self. But this journey brought him a gift, a guide. One day, during active imagination, a man with a white beard and a blue robe appeared. On his shoulders were the wings of a kingfisher. This was Philemon. He was a sage born within Jung's mind, but existing beyond his ego. Philemon was not just a symbol, he was a teacher. Jung began to learn from him. Philemon guided him, restrained him when his ego grew too large, and showed him that wisdom is not sought outside, but within. Philemon represented the wise old man archetype, a figure found in Taoism as Lao Tzu, in Hermeticism as Hermes, and in the Kabbalah as the Ancient of Days. Philemon was the bridge to individuation, the process of recognizing all parts of oneself, not just the mask, persona, and the ego, but the shadow, the dark aspects, and every suppressed emotion. Jung didn't just write about Philemon, he painted him. The pages of the book were filled with mandalas, snakes, and stars, not as decorations, but as symbols of spiritual alchemy. Jung realized that the danger does not lie in the shadow, but in the person who believes they are only made of light. This guide is not unique to Jung. Within each of us, there is a Philemon waiting to emerge if we dare to listen to the silence. The dark night of the soul led to Jung's most vital concept, the shadow. The shadow is everything we refuse to see in ourselves, repressed desires, fears, and anger. But it also contains forgotten talents and immense potential. Jung dived into this darkness. His encounters in the Red Book were almost shamanic, images of death, madness, and dismemberment. Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Modern society teaches us to chase only the light, to seek balance and healing instantly. But Jung believed that a spiritual journey seeking only light was a delusion. Light only gains meaning after confronting the darkness. In alchemy, this is nigredo, the blackening, the dark night of the soul. Individuation begins with a wound, Jung said. His ego was dissolving into chaos. But within that chaos, there was an order. He realized his journey was not just personal, it was collective. He was exploring the archetypes that belong to all of humanity. By confronting the shadow, a new center began to form. The self. The self is the totality of the psyche, encompassing both the conscious and the unconscious. Reaching it requires the destruction of everything we once thought we were. Jung began to draw mandalas, realizing they represented the cosmic order and the rhythm of the soul. He understood that salvation is found in the depths of the mire. The pearl is born at the bottom of the mud. It was no longer about fixing the soul, but accepting it in its entirety, its darkness and its beauty. The Red Book was kept in a locked chest by his family for decades. It was written on thick parchment, every letter and illustration prepared with blood-like intensity. Jung said this book saved him from his neuroses. It wasn't a psychology textbook, it was a call to the secrets of the soul. When it was finally published in 2009, it resonated not just with psychologists, but with mystics, artists, and seekers everywhere. It has been compared to Dante's Divine Comedy or the Zohar, yet it remains unique. It wasn't written to be universal. It was one man's honest confrontation with his own soul. And that is exactly why it speaks to everyone. The book does not tell you what to do. It reminds you that the voice you silenced is still there, calling you. Jung says, "The soul exists, and it wants something from you. There is no map, and there are no guarantees. But perhaps if you show the courage to step into the darkness as Jung did, your own Philemon will emerge. A self will be born from your shadow, and perhaps for the first time you will see your true face." This video was not meant to explain. It was an invitation. Now I offer that invitation to you. Close your eyes, listen to the silence, and hear.